Susie, you want a bagel?
Everything.
Like on the bagel?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Like everything.
Everything.
Our Everything Bagel!
Hello, everyone. I'm Suzanne Obando, and this is my sister.
Dannah Perez.
And this is the Everything Bagel.
Where everything is on the table.
Everything. No hesitations. We ain't pulling the punches. You're going to get punched. You're going to love it.
And you're also going to get some self-care and some love.
Because self-care isn't required. Should not be ashamed of self-care.
So tell me more about yourself, Suzanne.
So I study ethnic studies. I also want to become a mortician. I've actually got certified as a death midwife. I think there is this niche, very needed niche, to help society where we combine ethnic studies and death studies, because we don't really we live in a society that we are already death phobic. And then we also live in a racist society. So you can imagine if you're underprivileged and you're in the process of dying, you need to account for equity and be more intentional in accounting for equity during end of life and even after end of life, because if in life you're not treated as a person, your bodies definitely won't. So I'm definitely trying to fill that gap. And so I do a lot of that work, and then I combine art
Isn't that
and
amazing?
expression. Thank you. I definitely combine art and expression to see how you can use art to enhance that work and really get that point across in an effective visual or even verbal communication to get that point across.
It is so amazing. This is one of the reasons why I love her so much.
Thank you.
This inspires me. Especially since I feel like I am almost a complete opposite of this spectrum, and this is how the Everything Bagel comes about. I am all about love and community and connection and self-care and health. I love and I love conscious evolution. And to be clear, that means
You have to be very clear about that one.
I am truly, my intention is to support true conscious evolution, which would be the bettering of all, in all aspects.
Inclusive, that if it's going to be for the well-being of everyone, it has to be equitable and inclusive. You can't be saying it's just for white people, then it's not equitable and it's not for anyone. It's not for the collective good. You can't be saying it's for the collective good and then go oh, we hate these people in this community and, whatever racist BS you have in your corner. You got to work on that.
So that's where I'm coming from. I am a psychology major. I graduated at the University of Central Florida. So I come from the South. I was born in Venezuela. And now I reside here in California.
Yep.
I do operations and logistics for a software company.
Definitely she does. It's pretty comical to watch in my corner.
And all sorts of financial administration as well.
It gets pretty crazy.
So I love data. I love collecting data. I love all the spectrums of data. And that's why I love Susie, because she brings me...
I make her question all that data. I go maybe some of that data is a little weird.
I'm like, oh damn. Thank you for the feedback.
So I definitely do that. I think, yes, in personality wise, we are very opposite, but I think underneath it all, we have an understanding that we want everyone to thrive.
Yes.
And we very much connect the different points of our life, different parts of our personality to enhance the goal of improving community and supporting community. And we're very understanding that community, it's not just the hegemonic forces. And by hegemonic, I mean the people who get prioritized and have more privilege, that also the communities whose voices are not being heard need to be included in the equation. And we're very clear on that.
Yes.
And so a lot of our work is coming together in opposite ends of the spectrum, but very clear that we want everyone to succeed.
Yes.
And if you're privileged and stepping on other people, we want you to hold you accountable to not do that.
Yes, yes, yes. So on that note,
Here we are.
so here, welcome to the
Everything
Bagel.
where everything's on the table. There's no stopping here. Get strapped. If you enjoy it, awesome. You don't, but it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's never going to be a dull day. I give you that. I can promise on delivering it's not going to be dull. Whether you like it or not, there's no promises there.
Yes, but it'll be truth and it'll be transparent. And feel free to reach out to us if you ever feel like, what were the...
Like if you ever feel we can do better, especially in equity, inclusion, and diversity, please reach out. We want to know, diversity and equity and being an anti-racist is a process. So we're going to fall on our faces more than often, but we're going to do our best and hold us accountable. If we're not doing our best, we want to know that we could do better and improve upon that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
the suggestion was Kangen water because I have no freaking idea what that is. So I'm putting you on the spot. So inform your little sis on what the heck is Kangen water. So got a weird K in front of it. It just sounds all kinds of weird.
Let me set the stage a little more then. So I truly care. I study psychology, but before psychology, my goal, my dream was become a nurse because I wanted to become a doctor. So I've taken all the pre classes for nursing school. So I love anatomy. I love physiology. I truly love the human body. And this is a new thing I've got it really clear
in her little brain. Great big brain. I was just sexist for a second ago.
So from that space, I truly care about the human body. Not that and of course, this has been a process. I didn't get here. I wasn't born like this. So I support I support all the ingredients of the Everything Bagel. I've definitely had my fair share of Monster drinks. I've definitely had my former boss was like, you're gonna like coffee, and then I was like,
coffee is bomb. And I have a few conversations.
Bomb.
There's ceremony stuff that I've seen in some communities use coffee, and maybe we're just a little bit detached from the ceremonial aspect of coffee.
Absolutely. And here you're seeing here the spectrum.
Yeah. So yes, people could abuse coffee, but there is more culture and story behind it.
Right. So from my space, I'm very mindful. I've definitely already had my fair share of energy drinks and stuff. So today, before sitting down to record this awesome podcast, we were like, oh, should we have some coffee? And instead of drinking coffee, I was like, oh, I'm going to have a banana and I'm going to drink some Kangen water. Yeah.
And I totally downed some Kangen water too, because we have a freaking jar, because we can't get a proper bottle like normal people. We need to have a freaking jar.
Because, this is an Everything Bagel. So obviously we're going to have a gallon of water.
Yeah, because we got to be extreme about it.
So I actually don't have all of the specific data about Kangen water, but I have an amazing friend that introduced me to it.
He's pretty amazing. I give her that.
Yeah, shout out to Richard H. H. Yeah, I'm not going to say his whole name.
Okay, Richard.
But if you want water, we can definitely give you that contact.
Definitely.
And the concept is that water, our everyday water that is moving through our tap water, is sort of moving through pipes that are of different materials, right?
Of different materials. And let's be honest, maybe the infrastructure in our society doesn't maintain it as much as it should.
Right.
But I don't have the data, but we could assume, especially with things going on, that might not be taken care of as much as it should.
Right. So that water sort of arrives at our homes not truly alive, not as alive as it could be coming straight from a spring, coming just from the bottom, from the middle of earth and transmuting through the rocks or whatnot. So this specific water, Kangen water, uses this machine technology. I think it was actually manufactured, or it comes from Japan, and Japan has all kinds of cool technology right now, where it sort of electrifies the water. It infuses it with extra ions and extra electrons, I think. I don't have the data.
She definitely doesn't have the data.
Don't quote me me on this. We will have Richard here explaining this.
We need Richard.
It's sort of
Richard, help her. She's failing.
But it turns the water on. It's alive.
And it essentially makes the water a little bit better for you.
Yes. More than a little bit better.
More better. The traditional water.
Oh, it changes the pH too.
There we go. We have our awesome audio person giving us the data.
It's like, right, we can talk about that because like the first time.
That is true.
We
like the pH is different. I did a little experiment and research, and the reason the pH is definitely different because when you put the tea, a lot of the seeping that tea happens deals with more with pH and less about the water boiling.
Who would have thought, y'all?
I didn't know that. I was like reading this article. So the reason when you put it in this type of water, the pH is different and it goes to the pH that triggers tea to be to have the ability to steep. So the pH is definitely different. I saw it with my own ojos there that it did happen. And by ojos, I mean eyes. And it did work. So the pH is different because steeping actually requires pH to cause it. And maybe there's something about boiling water that changes the pH. I don't know. But that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. We tried it with rose tea. So
oh my God, it was freaking black. I was like, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, it was so fun. So I love Kangen water. I get it I try it. You can actually Google it. I guess there's people that have these machines and like they want people to have access to this water. So instead of having coffee, I had a banana and some Kangen water because that's what I do.
That's what Dannah does. You could always count Dannah to be Dannah, and that's great.
Yes, earlier I said Dannah. That's how you pronounce my name in Spanish.
Dannah?
I also go by Dannah.
Dannah.
And
Dannah.
Yeah.
My name is Suzanne, but we'll go by Susie because you're not messing up my name, sweeties.
Exactly.
I was like, I love y'all, but we'll stay with the nickname. I'll appreciate you more. But I do have to give like a little warning with the Kangen water because if you don't want your tea just steep too much where it just is too concentrated. So like if you're going to use Kangen water to just steep the tea, steep it half the time. So So if you're going to steep it for like 10 minutes normally, then steep it for 5.
Yeah.
So you're not like over juicing yourself
because the pH is so potent, so it can actually steep it too far.
Yeah, so you don't want to like overwhelm yourself.
Yes.
So I do want to just give that just word of caution. Like it's great, and I can't talk for the science of like why pH, like higher pH water or lower pH water. I don't know which one
I'll go collect that data for us. I wasn't ready to. I didn't know that we were gonna.
It's good for you, but like I can definitely say it's like definitely a different pH from your normal water, and I can attest to that. And I can definitely say if you like it and it vibes with you, then just do half the time of steeping. You don't want to like overwhelm your body. Right. Love on your body. Don't get too crazy, man.
Absolutely. And on that note, and since we're talking about water, when was the last time you drank water today?
Get that water.
Take a water break.
Thirsty. I'm not that kind of thirsty, my friends.
Water is kind. Water is so good for us. Like our brains actually need water. So sometimes like when we are feeling flustered or something, like we actually just need water. So
yeah. Also, like one of the things I learned with intermittent fasting, I really love doing that, is sometimes you're not hungry, you're thirsty.
Yes.
And so maybe drink that water and then think about eating.
What's the percentage? Like our bodies are like 82% water?
I believe, from my understanding, from remembering high school biology, it's 35% water.
75.
But that could be totally inaccurate because it was high school. Yeah, let's be honest.
This is our first show.
It is definitely our first show. I hope you're having fun. We're having fun.
We're definitely having fun.
But yeah, your water, it does have a huge amount of water. Your body has a huge amount of water. Obviously, water has a huge amount of water. It's literally water. But your body has a huge amount of water. And so like hydrate yourself. We as a society, we probably don't do that as good as we should.
No, this is a fact. This is actually true. How much water does our water bottles have? Like we actually have these beautiful water bottles that are like, and Andrew's always laughing at the size of our water bottles.
So Andrew is this amazing dude who is helping with this podcast.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Hey, look, he's taking a water break.
He's taking a water break. He does amazing audio. He's just a genius, overall genius when it comes to music, audio, and like he's part of band. I'm just gonna love on him. Andrew's a badass, and I love it. He's amazing at what he does, and I appreciate him so much.
Thanks to him, we're sitting here right now.
Thanks to him, everything bagel has arrived to your doorstep. Take it, munch on it, taste on it, like it, just let it happen.
It's for your better good.
Yes.
All the topics we're gonna touch. It's the
healthiest bagel you're gonna get.
Yes. 100% love ingredients.
Yes.
Sometimes love looks like equity knowledge. And that is valid.
That is so valid. We need that more. And yeah, we do have like a funny little bottle that's like 2-liter bottle that I bought. All my friends, like Dannah and my other friend, we got like this 2-liter bottle. And we try to drink it. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't.
Right, a day. Like our goal is to at least drink the whole thing a day. We put our little time. Like by 9 a.m. we should have drunk this much. And should is a strong word. Like we just highly recommend it.
Highly recommended, suggested. Because you definitely shouldn't go this should because I've done it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm failing. I need to drink this down as fast as I can.
No, we got this.
But our goal has been like drinking that down for like every day.
Water's amazing. Another thing that just is coming up, that water, so drinking water, but also like showering and using that as like a space to like sort of help you release things and let go of like heavy burdens that you're carrying from your day to day.
Yeah, and this is, even if there's people who are atheists and are like, oh, well, that's weird. Nah. Like, just rituals themselves, it just helps you psychologically change your mindset to just refresh. Like, you could, if, and this is going to be intense, if everything spiritual was bullshit, you can still attest to that the actions and the rituals behind that has a psychological effect to just change your mind frame to motivate to do something different or move past something. So like if showering and imagining all your the stress of the day going with the water helps you get to that mindset, why not do that?
Absolutely. Exactly. I love how you worded that. So
Thank
clear.
you.
So clear. So yeah, definitely use water also to help you let go of things. In the shower, just visualize it washing away all your worries, all your burdens. Sometimes we don't have to carry those things into the following day. We can just let it go.
I mean, you do need a moment to like reset for the next day. Then you can think about it, tomorrow.
Which is technically the same thing that it's doing in our bodies, right? It's helping us flush out all the things, all the extra toxins and stuff. Like when you're feeling sick, or back in the day when one would feel sick, then you would drink a lot of fluids just to like help it flush out.
And you still do when you get sick. Fluids definitely recommended by the doctor.
Yeah.
It isn't some like, that is some eccentric idea. It's like, oh, you foolish doctor, you're recommending water to us? What? Water? That's insane. No, like doctors still recommend it. They still ask you to drink water when you're sick.
Yeah. So instead of coffee, I have a big glass of water.
I definitely,
and especially Kagan if I have that available.
Yeah. I definitely try to drink the water. I'm not as awesome as Dannah with it. She's definitely going, water break, Susie, water break. I'm like, oh my God, I've been caught. I have to drink it.
On that note, do y'all drink some water?
Drink more water. Last call.
Water break.
Get that water in.
We should really schedule some water breaks into this podcast.
We should.
Yeah.
It should be a thing. Maybe like Andrew could do a weird sound effect about it.
It is time for a water break.
We just like,
we're
chug
surfing.
the water. Chug.
I'm going to drink some on
totally
that
different
note.
chugging. That does not require alcohol. Just water.
Chug, water, chug.
Yeah. Oh man. And as to speak the moment, there's Dana drinking her water. The giant jar, like if you were here, it would be comical. If I could only give you the imagination and details and funny it looks to have a giant jar and just drinking it for like a little cup of water.
I love water. I love water. On that topic, water's amazing, y'all. Water
amazing.
also covers 75% of our planet, like our oceans. So
and it's a large part of our ecosystem, definitely. It's definitely a large part.
do you remember those? I don't know if they were commercials or like what it was, but it was like when we were kids back in our day, and they were like teaching us as if we,
I like feel like I'm decrepit at this point.
and they like taught us how to like cut the little the things that hold the cans together.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like they did such good marketing that I feel like everyone learned that at our age. Like our generation definitely learned how to like always cut that. We need to find that person again, because like we need to start doing that with
recycle dude.
We need to start doing that with masks though, because the same thing is happening. Like masks are ending up in our oceans.
We need to do that with our masks, dudes. that little elastic. Yeah, cut
it's
that
getting
shit.
stuck on animals in our oceans.
Yeah, so y'all gotta like wear your masks,
Get a reusable one.
but also like if it's not reusable, cut the little things that go over your ears. Yeah, I don't know the name of it. I have no shame.
The earpiece. The earpiece.
The earpiece part.
Yeah, because I hate seeing the pictures I'm seeing of like ocean creatures that are now having to deal with our mask problem.
So cut it or you'll make Dana cry. And it's all your fault. I will take pictures of it so you can feel guilty of Dana crying.
So let's start cutting those, yeah?
Yeah,
I refuse to wear one use. Well, I joke around. I say I'm allergic to plastic,
Yeah,
quote unquote, and that's how I avoid one-time use of things. I try my best. I'm not perfect, y'all. I'm not perfect.
We're not. But like if you can be more recyclable,
yes,
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
just since we're talking about water, and the ocean is amazing.
The ocean is amazing.
I'm grateful for the ocean.
It's great. I enjoyed ocean swimming the times I did it. It was great. The beautiful, like
tell us more about this. What do you mean ocean swimming? What is this? I'm from Montana.
Oh my god,
I'm not from Montana.
She is not. She is lying. You liar.
I love people from Montana. Nothing personal.
But when I was like, I'm 28 now. So when I was 21, yeah. God damn, I'm so decrepit at 28.
What?
I'm kidding.
Stop it. You're a baby.
I am definitely a baby. But at 21, 22, I took on doing ocean swimming.
What?
Yeah. I did it for like almost 3 hours daily for 5 days a week because I was crazy. I loved it. I can't do that now. If you ask them, let's ocean swim, it's like, y'all know I'm a little bit fluffy and I'm good. But I used to do it when I was 21, 22, and I loved it. There's something about like being in nature and the ocean that does help your mental health steady. I know I was like in a very depressed point, and the ocean swimming definitely helped.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's like the ocean itself that has something calming about it.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I think it circles back to that same water thing. Like it helps wash away the extra burdens that no longer serve us. Yeah,
and like definitely. And I think there's also something to say about moving your body. And then when you have like a wave coming at you, and you're like really angry, and then you get to like drill your hand right through it, it's like pretty satisfying. So I can definitely see that, like even the emotion through ocean swimming and like overcoming that wave definitely helps your mental health of like if you have a lot of anger to process.
Susie is a badass.
Thank you. I try to be.
I like if anyone has a different terminology for saying that. I don't necessarily like that word, but there's no other way for me to explain.
I know.
What do you mean 3 hours a day ocean swimming? Like,
yeah, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I think like I should have like at that age just like calm the F down, buddy. You're getting a little crazy, because I was like doing that, and then 2 hour on Fridays after ocean swimming, I would hang with my friends for like a good chunk, and it'll be like 2 hours or 3 hours after, we would go to the rock climbing gym and rock climb for like another 2 or 3 hours.
That's wild. Question: were you drinking a lot of like energy drinks or like coffee during that time?
I actually wasn't.
Amazing.
The monster drinks didn't hit me well. I didn't like it.
Oh, I don't know. Can we say that name? Is that-
Oh, sorry.
Just energy drinks. Blank.
Energy drinks. But the energy drinks didn't hit me. It didn't hit good. And then like my history of coffee is like I kind of weaned myself off.
Because I'm Colombian. So.
I am Colombian and I think coffee is great. But I also think that like enjoying coffee and then being dependent on coffee is two different things. And so I realized that for myself. And so I weaned myself off of it and then wanted to start building a new relationship with it.
Amazing. I asked because in my early 20s, I literally used to buy packs of Monster like in the 24 pack. Like that's how I survived in my early 20s, which is why I feel so comfortable talking about health now because I know I'm not perfect and I know I've had my fair share of unhealthy habits.
Yeah, like energy drinks wasn't, and also like I know there might be some people who relate that when I drink energy drinks, like they never like gave me more energy. They always like knocked me out, and I was like exhausted. I was like, and for that, I didn't need to be exhausted. Right. I needed to have as much energy as I needed.
This ain't working for me. This ain't working for me. Yeah, for sure. Well, circling back to the ocean swimming, I just to share a story, like one of my stories, just to set the stage of the spectrum of our delicious relationship. I respect the ocean. I one time went surfing in Bali, and I was just the wave would literally just like wash me, like I felt like I was part of a washing machine. And it would just like spit me out. And I was like, it was part of like some surfing camp. So the guy, like the surfing instructor, like really wanted to make sure that I like caught a wave. And I didn't know how, like, he wasn't hearing me as far as like, I'm just happy to be this far away from the shore. Like the fact that I'm even this like out here, like I'm already winning, like, but he was so persistent. He would like perfectly set up the board and like set me up. And then the wave would literally wash me like a little washing machine. And then I would come out on the top.
I think that is so comical.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Oh my God. I'm so like, I would have been laughing.
I don't have videos or anything. Yeah, no, it must have been really comical. And I felt like a cat. I felt like a cat. I think I like put my foot on the board, but I never stood up. It was really like, yeah, like I respect the ocean. I think I need to try warmer water too. Because that water, I mean, it was warm, but not like, I'm thinking like Hawaii warm is, I need to go.
Well, we don't know.
There.
We're going by promotion of that. Hawaii water is warmer. For all we know, all water is just the same exact feeling at this point. Because it's like, oh, we're an ocean and we feel like other oceans.
That's true. That's true. Well, we'll have to update in the future.
And the update would be like, I don't know if it's cold, so I'll just throw you in, Susie.
And
shove. And I was like, oh, it's warmer too.
And to be clear, those 3 hours of surfing that Susie was doing, that was in the Pacific.
That's surfing, ocean swimming. I cannot surf to save my life.
The ocean swimming was in the Pacific. So the temperature for the Pacific is really cold.
It's pretty cold. And there were like times that were gnarly. There was like white caps at one point.
What? What does that mean?
White caps when the ocean is like the waves are gnarly. And like there was one point where the first time I had to go in the ocean on top of that, it felt like I was in a giant soup, like a little sancocho. And I was like, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
When you said white cap, I thought snow, and I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah, snow in the ocean. I'm like, no. I was like, I love the ocean, but the moment there's a blizzard here, I'm out.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the people that like getting like ice tubs?
I secretly kind of want to do that.
Absolutely. You see, there I meet you.
I secretly want to do that.
We should do that. We should do that.
That would be our like friendship and sisterhood adventure. It's like we're sister bonding. We're gonna throw each other into a tub of ice.
Yes. Subscribe now to see how that story goes.
That'd be crazy.
You can get a full update about our
update. And then it's just
ice
like Dannah shoving me, and then it's just like me being chaotic in the air.
It's supposed to be so good for the body. Like our vagus nerve is the one that like is one of the nerves in our cranial space that like regulates the temperature of the body, and that's the one that fully gets activated when you switch from hot to cold.
There you go.
It's I'm calling the verb a he. I'm calling the nerve a he. He regulates a lot of things in our bodies. So when we do like this little cold shower things or like cold baths, it's like super engaging it or like stimulating it, so it makes it stronger. It's like supposed to be really amazing for your health. So I want to do that. I have actually done that acro. What is it called? It's like I went into a freezer.
The whole like and there's such a funny story there because then I like totally get paranoid about it too. It's like this little machine. It's like a cryotherapy or something like that.
Cryotherapy, yeah.
And so we have accents, so it's just gonna happen. Just ride with us, man.
Que no pare la fiesta.
Que no pare la fiesta. Rastatas. Ratastas. Got it. And so it's like a little machine that they step into, and Dannah should know more about it because she was part of the experience. So you should describe it.
Yeah. If you subscribe, I will share that photo.
Yeah.
The temperature was like negative, like 200 Fahrenheit or something crazy. And like they gave me gloves. And I think socks because like as long as your extremities maintain the temperature, like your body's fine. And it was for me, I am terrified of the cold, y'all. Like I come from the South. I come from like the equator. Like me and the cold are like, we have a very interesting relationship, which is another part of our everything bagel here. Because Susie,
I love the cold. Which is funny, my reaction to this, because I was terrified about it. You guys should have seen my face. Because I told Dannah, I was like, so you put yourself in there to put you like negative something. And I'm like, so if you move, do you shatter?
Right.
I swear that you just couldn't move. And I'm like, oh no, I'm breathing. I'm going to shatter to pieces. I thought it was some weird, like scary adventure here.
Definitely your mind goes all the way there. My ego, my mind was freaking out. Like, and that's why I did it. And it actually felt more intense than like skydiving. Because
you did skydiving?
I've been skydiving. Yes.
I did not know this. You have to tell us.
Well, I'm sharing it as far as like the comparison because I was less afraid to jump out of a building than to be in this.
I thought it was like a plane.
I mean, sorry,
you're just jumping out of buildings. I'm like, if people are gonna like look at your sister, she's just jumping out of buildings. I can't explain. It's kind of a thing she does.
Plane. The word was plane, not building, in Florida.
Oh God.
Yeah. And it was actually more terrifying to get into this cryotherapy machine and get frozen a little. That was like more terrifying for my.
Well, I can see that your person is getting frozen,
right? And that's why. And like I was so exhilarated after I did it because like it was like such a huge confidence booster because our bodies are amazing. Our bodies are like divine.
Yeah.
Machines. Not machines. I don't want to say machines because we're
not machines, guys.
Divine, like complex
things.
Yeah. So like to see my body literally, like I could see like they do like a little shock factor. So they the temperature was like off to the right and I could just see the numbers dropping.
So definitely a shock factor there. I also want to add, yes, our bodies are amazing. But if you're struggling with chronic illness and stuff like that, it's totally understandable. Your body also needs support, and we encourage you to get all the support you need.
Yes.
We understand that sometimes, the deck isn't always piled nicely, and, there's no judgment. Your body sometimes needs help, and we support you to get it. Absolutely. We love you.
Yes.
And if that looks like self-care and you don't have spoons and in your end, that's fine too. Like, we support you. Do what you need to do to be your best self.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that. Absolutely. 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 Neither of us have our phones, so like
neither of us have our phones.
We don't know how much time has passed.
We don't know. Time is like a myth right now.
Huh?
Oh,
nice.
Awesome. 34 minutes, dude.
34 minutes. What?
We got this.
The everything bagel.
The everything bagel.
Yeah, so we envision our little like marketing, or not marketing, like our little something. Like we really want to like list out some of the ingredients that we intend.
I definitely want to do a sketch of a bagel and us sitting on it. Like that's something I definitely want to partake in.
I'm excited to see this. And I know the obvious. I mean, I hope you guys have felt one of my ingredients that I bring to the table is love, and I do plan on defining love though, because
there's many different definitions of love and many different types. We do live, and you're going to notice that my favorite phrase, we do live in a society that doesn't, will be coming up a lot. And we do live in a society that doesn't really appreciate like emotionality, and that maybe love and intimacy and how we approach our emotional interactions are far more complex, and doesn't really give us a chance as a society to explore. Exactly. Like emotionality is definitely not a thing in our society, which we could definitely say that a lot of like toxic masculinity, inappropriate behavior, and not even understanding consent would be a direct route to like not really having a space to express emotionality and understanding boundaries.
Boundaries. I was in emotionality. Say, highlight boundaries.
Boundaries and what consent is in emotionality, right. Or even just learning to process your emotionality and that you don't need another person to do it.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I definitely want to spend a whole time defining love and like going there, but that's definitely one of the ingredients of our everything bagel.
Of course. And you know, because we definitely need to talk about emotionality and intimacy, and like we like you could even see it with COVID-19 going on, like we don't have appropriate places to grieve or even talk about death. And in this space of all spaces, when COVID-19 is happening, wouldn't you think this is the appropriate time to talk about death, grief, and the trauma of all of this? And yet, as a society, we're not making space for it. And I think that says a lot about emotionality, intimacy, boundaries, and consent, and making space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's why the Everything Bagel's here. We're going to create some space, and we're going to add some humor to it, just because that's who we are organically.
Yes.
And some love and some water breaks. Do y'all really drink water?
Dana is very skeptical about your water drinking.
It's just like, I don't know if I felt you drink water.
It's like, you got to do better, man. Gotta do better, folks.
Just take a water break. Better. Like, we're here together. Having a drink of
I'll
water.
Take a water break.
And I don't. That's one of the main ingredients that I'm very solid on. You know, like, but okay, this is something I was gonna say. Like, have you actually ever looked at the ingredients of an everything bagel?
I have not. They're just bomb.
You truly
They're the
haven't.
Greatest.
So just join our vibe, join the trip.
Just receive the bagel. Like, you know, you're going like, I don't know about the bagels. Like,
you weren't gonna look at the ingredients anyway, so
you were gonna look in the first place. And you said yes once you joined.
But we can guarantee that after you finish this show, this long show, not just this specific one, because there's many more coming.
There's many more coming.
You will be looking at the ingredients, and there's going to be a whole new level of awareness.
Exactly. And, you know, so just let the bagel happen. Like, if it's not for you, you definitely have your right to say no and then walk away.
And we support you in that, too.
We support you in your ability to say your no.
Mm-hmm. But there's probably a friend you have that you know this will be their vibe.
This will be their...
Do share it with them.
Yes.
It's cool.
Please do.
There's enough for everyone. There's enough room for everyone to breathe.
Yes. And breathing is super important. Not only water, but also the oxygen in your air. Definitely do the breathing.
Oh, I feel like we just like this is going to be all the different topics that we're going to talk about.
I mean,
so click subscribe right now.
Yeah. Like, just join us on this adventure. and like just take a deep breath, take that water break.
Yeah.
And
Have a
let's
bite
get
of the
cracking.
bagel. It's gonna bring everything.
Definitely.
And it's for the betterment of all.
Yes, definitely for the betterment of all, and just like informing people. And for me, with my weird accent going on, but like for me, sometimes my voice does that. I get like some weird accent going on. But for me, it's definitely I want to help improve society because I know we can do better and support each other better as a community, but also platform people who don't have a voice. But we're both people of color and we understand. And we, as people of color, we do have our privilege. You're people of color, but we know that other people of color with darker skin have it rougher than us.
Yeah.
And if we can create a platform where people of color who don't have other people of color who don't have a voice can come here and vocalize what they need to, I'm happy to do that. And I know Dannah is too.
100% más está.
Yes.
Mi hermana del alma, 100%.
Yes.
Count me in. I am your team.
Yes, she's definitely your team. I definitely am too. And so this is what it's about. We're gonna unrestricted cover all topics, and also we're trying to improve the society where we can and support the community. And if people who are voiceless need a space to vocalize, we want to be able to create that space. So the Everything Bagel seemed perfect for us because we can go to all those topics and do what needs to be done in the moment that we see that we can or are capable of providing that.
Absolutely.
So like Everything Bagel, we're here.
And we talk the talk and walk the walk. So like by us wanting to improve our societies, we understand first we had to improve ourselves. So
definitely
everything we talk about, we've like literally gone through.
We have or are trying to.
Or we're in the middle of it. And it's all about like just do this together. So
yeah, and
click subscribe and join the ride.
Yes, click subscribe and join the ride. And yeah, we're doing our part. And we understand sometimes we don't know if this will be an enormous change or a tiny change, but a change is progress anyway, even the tiniest one.
That's how I make the drum roll.
Her drum roll sounds like Chewbacca from Star Wars.
The drum roll.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Susie. I love you. It is my honor to be sitting next to you here on the top of this Everything Bagel.
On top of this Everything Bagel. Got plenty of bagel to share. It's enormous Everything Bagel.
So
follow
us.
Subscribe. You got this. We believe in you. You know how to make this work. We're here for you. And
you know that little blue button, you click follow.
The little blue button.
Depends on your platform. So
yeah.
Who knows?
Depends on the platform, but you do know how to follow. So follow us and join us in this adventure.
The
Everything Bagel. Where everything's on the table, sweetie. Everything.